A goddamn tornado was on the way to our complex. Hello people, what is up? I'm wearing my glasses right now because I'm blind, but I'm taking them off because I don't like to wear them on camera. But hello people, it is currently like January 3rd today. I'm filming a couple things today, so what is up? But before you say anything, I know that you probably wouldn't say anything, but I like to address it before anybody just in case they say something. I'm not wearing makeup and my face is very broken out right now because I am probably PMSing, and also my hair is kind of gross and dry and dead. It is because I'm trying this new thing in 2021 of like being myself and like trying to be confident and like not self-conscious. So we're gonna try and do that. So yes, I don't have makeup on or my hair done because I don't know. This is me just trying to talk myself out of probably just being lazy. Also, yes, I have garbage bags in the back. One is for donation, one is for garbage bag. I'm moving in like a month or so, so this video is actually pre-filmed. You're probably not watching this till February because your girl's pre-filming everything, because when I move, I frankly am not going to have time or effort or energy to be filming, editing, and uploading because I work a full-time job, and between moving, packing up my house, filming, editing, doing YouTube, like all this stuff, I don't have time for it at all. I'm going to be filming some moving stuff though, however. Those will go up later on, probably in March. But we're being productive. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically today, I thought I would try it out myself and do a little story time. I used to film a couple story times back in the day. Things would happen and I'd come back and see my experience / story, but I haven't done that in quite a while. So we're gonna be doing it now. This story is going to be an interesting one. I'm gonna try and make it as short as possible, but it's going to be talking about one of the worst days of my life. It was the time I almost missed the flight and was stranded in Toronto right before Christmas. And I was not too happy. So basically the story dates back to 2018. It was December 20th, 2018, and I will always remember that day because I remember that day forever. Basically what happened was I was in Florida for the Disney College program from the point of beginning of July till the end of December. I was in California before then, so I literally didn't see my family since the beginning of June. However, they did come to Florida to come visit me, so I saw my brother at the beginning of July when I first moved to Florida, and then I hadn't seen him since then. My parents did come back in October, however, so I saw them in October, so it hadn't been as long, but still, my friends, except for Cass, who I saw in August, my brother, I hadn't seen him since July, and my parents hadn't seen him in October. So like I hadn't seen people in a long, long time, and I just wanted to get home and see my family. It was December 20th, like Christmas was a few days away. I had a Christmas dinner on the 22nd. Basically, I was planning on getting home at like, I think my flight was supposed to land at like 8 p.m. Vancouver time. So my flight wasn't super early in the morning. I can't remember the times specifically. I do have them on my Instagram, so I'm gonna try and find them right now. But basically, I think I had to check out of Disney housing at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. or something like that, and that's the time I had to leave for the airport anyways. So it all kind of worked out in favor of the time of my flight just because our checkout time and everything. So I remember it was a super windy and rainy day, and when I say super windy and rainy, I mean I have never seen so many puddles in my entire life. Like, it rains in Florida quite a bit. It rains in the summer a lot, like a lot. So basically, we had to get all of our suitcases from the back of the complex, which is where our apartment was, up to the front, which is where the Ubers pick us up. How it works in Disney property on CP housing, which is college program housing, Ubers and stuff can't go directly to your apartment. For anybody to go past like the check-in drop-off spot, you have to be able to be signed in, and obviously Uber drivers and stuff, we don't sign them in because you have to get like their driver's license, ID, like everything, all like this big whole process, sign out this piece of paper, get scans of their documents, like it's a process. So we don't do it because like why would they want to do that, and also they probably say no. So we had to lug all of our suitcases, which keep in mind I had two big suitcases, like the full-size big large suitcases. One was 49.5 pounds and one was 49 pounds. And keep in mind, the luggage scale that I have is kind of sketchy. It's one that you have to like lift up so it bounces, and it's kind of hard to tell. But I read it as 49 and 49.5, and the maximum you can have in a suitcase is 50 pounds without paying over like overage fees. So I was like kind of nervous about that. I had my heavy ass backpack that was like 35 pounds or something. I weighed it and it was crazy heavy on my back, insane. So my backpack plus the two big suitcases plus a carry-on suitcase, which again was like 40 pounds something. I put like tons of heavy stuff in there, crammed it as full as possible, like as much as I could fit. Plus I had a plastic bag, like one of the big Disney bags filled with like random stuff like shoes and my hair straightener and stuff that I couldn't fit in my suitcase. So I had a lot of luggage. So me with these suitcases and my carry-ons on top of my other suitcase, I'm trying to loop them in, trying to carry these all to the front of the complex, which was probably a 5-ish minute walk, 5 to 7 minute walk in normal weather without suitcases. So with the suitcases, it took me probably 10 to 15 minutes to get to the front in the pouring rain. I have hard-sided suitcases, so at least they're waterproof. My friends, however, do not all have waterproof suitcases. So there were some people that their stuff got wet and then it stayed wet till they got home that night, and it was not a good time. Mine didn't really get wet except for like the line of the zipper, because the zipper is like a fabric opposed to like the hard shelled suitcase, so only a tiny bit of water got in, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just like a little bit damp on the outsides, which dried really, really fast. So anyways, we're trying to get our stuff to the front, trying to get everything packed up. All the stuff that we were going to give to donation was also at the front of the complex, so we decided to say screw it, and we threw a ton of stuff away or put it in the hallway and said, anybody want it? Come into 3502. We have a bunch of stuff. We're moving out right now. Come grab it or it's going in the garbage. And that's literally what we did. I don't know whatever ended up happening to them because I didn't have time, nor did my other roommate Abby or JC, because me and JC were on the same flight and Abby was on a flight that was like around the same time as us, as well as our other roommate Sam. So we're trying to do all this stuff at the same time. We're all crying because we're saying goodbye to our best friends that we've just lived with for 6 months. Cass and Tay were staying there for another couple weeks, so they had to pack up their stuff but weren't as big of a rush because their parents are coming to come help them. But we're all sobbing. It's pouring rain. I threw out all my ponchos already, so I took one of my roommate's ponchos to like run stuff back to the garbage can. I rolled up my pants to like above my knees, took off my socks and shoes and just ran through it because there was a swimming pool outside of my apartment. When I say there was a swimming pool, there was a full ass swimming pool. And if I have any sort of footage, I'm gonna try and insert them throughout this, but it was a freaking disaster. When I say disaster, I mean disaster. Like it was a monsoon. Florida rains a lot, but this is the worst I've ever seen the complexes. So it's already stress, high stress, everything's chaotic. We're like, oh my God, this rain, this wind, like flights are gonna be issues. Flights hadn't been delayed at this point though yet. At least we didn't think so. So we're saying our goodbyes and we get this alert to our phone. Guess what it said? Just guess. What could it possibly say? No, if you guessed flight delays, you'd be wrong. Tornado warning. A goddamn tornado was on the way to our complex. We lived there for 6 months, not a single tornado warning the entire time. Me, not even knowing that tornadoes existed in Florida. I mean, they don't exist in Vancouver, so why would they exist in Florida? I was like, yeah, no, they don't exist where I live. We had a freaking tornado warning. It was like, tornadoes on its way, seek shelter immediately. And I'm like, I can't do this. I have to leave for a flight. Not gonna happen. So I'm lugging my stuff up to the front. Luckily, one of our friends who wasn't our roommate, she was also on the flight with us, as well as a couple other girls, so they were all at the front of the complex already waiting for their Ubers and stuff. So we took a couple trips up to the front to drop our bags undercover at a different complex, so then that way when the Uber finally came, it would just be a quick like back and forth like 30-second walk. So we were doing that. We came back, this tornado warning's going off, we have people crying left, right, and center. I just remember hugging my friend Cass. We were both soaking wet and we were just like sobbing like, oh my God, this is a freaking disaster. Oh, also to top that all off, people went missing. Like some of our roommates, I don't even remember who went missing, but I remember I was with JC at the front. She was watching our stuff. I go back, Abby's missing, then Tay's missing, and they're trying to say bye to each other, but Abby has to go and Tay's not here, and Sam, we don't know where Sam went. She got in a car with her friend and drove up to the front without us, and we didn't know what was happening. So finally, we figure it all out. I mean, they didn't see each other, but all of us that were leaving to go for the airport, we're all together. We get our stuff in this giant van because we had so much luggage, and we drive to the airport. We get all of our bags in the van and we head over to the airport. So we get there, we go to check in. There's still the 4 of us roommates together plus our other friend, and we check and oh, we have a flight delay. Okay, awesome, whatever. Our flight's delayed an hour. We thought we were rushed because what even happened? There was some sort of mix up in here too. I remember I was like, it's fine, like we don't need to be there super early because I had Nexus, so I could just go through Nexus, which is like basically you're pre-screened and you go through like this interview process with like the government, and then if you have this, you're able to go through certain like security checks like the US-Canada border and I think the Mexico-US border as well, and a couple other places with Nexus, and it's basically you've been pre-screened so you don't have to go through as much checks, and it's a whole lot faster to get through like security and stuff. So I had that, so I wasn't too worried, but I remember saying just go ahead and we'll see you on the other side sort of thing. So I think people went in like different cars, but then something happened and we all went. I don't remember how it happened. All I remember is we were there, ended up finding that there was a flight delay. So we say goodbye, we drop off our suitcases, we head through the airport, we get some food, and we sit down at our gate. We check, because I had this WestJet app, because we were flying with WestJet. And we check, and oh, there's an hour and a half, 2-hour delay. Started off with that and I was like, oh, like this is gonna cut it close. Like I only had, which most of you probably haven't, it is a process to get through the airport. If you're flying like internationally into Toronto and then domestically in Toronto, you have to actually exit out, go through baggage claim. You don't have to collect your bags, luckily, but you have to like exit out through baggage claim and then go back through security and customs again. Normally when you fly, you don't have to do that. Like you don't go through security again. Like you're already past security, you're in the safe area. Like you don't need to do that again, but you do in Toronto, if you have to go through customs again too, and like it's just a process. Normally I go through customs in Vancouver because I don't fly through Canada, but in that airport you do, which adds on extra time to it, which is a whole part of the disaster, which is later to become on. So basically we're sitting there and it's 3-hour delay, 4-hour delay, 5-hour delay, keeps going up in time, and as I'm sitting there checking the app, okay, it's fine, like my flight out of Toronto has been rescheduled. There was like 3 more flights out of Toronto than the one that I was originally going to take. There's like mine and then one that went later and later and later.
Oh my god, explain this to me. How?
First I got bumped to the second one and I was like, that's fine. And then I got bumped to the third one. I'm like, okay, that's fine. There's still one more flight after this. Worst case, I got bumped on the third flight. I don't see your flight being delayed that long. We sat at that airport for 7 hours. We were 7 hours delayed. I was still I was literally still sitting in the airport in Orlando when I should have already been to Toronto. My roommate should have already seen her friends and family, should have already been home from the airport. I should have been halfway home to Vancouver at that point. I should have been landing in a few hours by the time I was on that plane. Like it was the longest delay I've ever been on. And I know it's not WestJet or the airport's like issue. It's all to do with the weather, and it was all the weather in Orlando too, which sucked. It wasn't even the weather in Toronto. If it was, then that flight might be delayed as well, but of course it wasn't because it was just Orlando. So it was the wind and the rain and the clouds and the fog, I guess. There was like a bunch of fog and they couldn't fly. And so finally, like 7.5, 8 hours later, we get on this plane and fly off, and I'm sitting here with like 20 minutes to get from my plane to the next flight, go through customs, go through security, figure all that stuff out. Keep in mind, I've never been to the Toronto airport, so it was going to be a rush to a place I have never been before. I was stressed out, I was terrified, I was so scared, I was so sad because I was like leaving my best friend. It was not a good time. Finally, as I'm checking this app the entire time we're flying, we land, and I was one of the first people standing up on the plane because it was I'm not waiting for people to get off the plane, I'm running off that plane. We were near the front anyway, so I know we'd be off like fairly soon, but I remember I like squeezed past my friends. I think I had the aisles, or the middle, or the window. I think I had the middle seat. No, did I have the window? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I didn't have the aisle seat is all I remember. And so I like squeezed past them and like went into the aisle first to get my stuff down. And so as soon as I could, I literally said goodbye to them, crying in the middle of this plane, looking at my phone. I have like 18 minutes to get from this point through customs, through security in there. I was not gonna make it. So I had my, like I remember said, 25-pound backpack, 30-pound, 40-pound suitcase, plus this giant bag that did not fit. I was sweating because I had like a jacket plus my sweatshirt on plus pants because like I said, my suitcases were full. They were 49 and 49.5 pounds, like to the dot. Like it could have not been any heavier. No more stuff could have gone in them. So I then get to where customs is, and like I said, I have Nexus, so I was going through a different line. So I'm trying to pull my Nexus card out of the thing, go up to this machine because there was nobody else there. It was late at night. Our flight, like I said, had been super delayed. I was the last one on that plane. It was one of the last flights out of Toronto that night. Last flight for Vancouver and one of the last flights in general out of the airport. And I was like the only one there because the flight was leaving in like 20 minutes. They were already boarding. They were already all on the plane except for me pretty much. And so I had my little card. I was trying to make it work. It was not working to save my goddamn life. I remember I left that machine, went to a different one, still wasn't working. I'm like sitting here crying now. My little picture came up. I was like so devastated because this wasn't working. Finally it worked. I gave them my card. I kept running through because you didn't have to stop and ask any questions really. It was just a matter of keep going because I don't even remember how it worked, but I just kept going. And then I get over to the baggage claim, run through that. I see JC's family. I didn't really have time to like say hi, obviously, for obvious reasons. I had 10 minutes to get to this flight. JC told me after that apparently they saw me like running through and they were gonna say hi, but I looked super, super frantic and like distressed because obviously I was. And so they didn't have a chance to say hi. I run past there, find this door, go into this other room where you have to go to get your boarding pass. And I walk in and I just remember looking around. It was like this white room with a bunch of different desks at it. And I just remember like looking around and like, I don't know what to do. And I literally looked at them like, I don't know what to do. I have a flight. It's soon. It's in like 20 minutes. I just got off Toronto, and they're like, what's your name? And I'm like, it's Jessica Folt. Like, I need my plane ticket. Like, I don't know what to do. And I guess they looked through their stack, find my plane ticket, hand it to me, and I book it out that door. They didn't even ask me for a board, like, they didn't ask me for my other boarding pass, they didn't ask me for a passport, nothing. They just saw how distressed and distraught I was, handed me a piece of paper, and I ran out that door. And I had to go like back through this like door and then up this elevator, which took forever. And then I was back out to this other part of the airport, and then there was security. So I walk up to the Nexus line, I go into security, and I go to put my stuff up on the belt. And normally how it works with Nexus is no shoes, no jackets, no laptops out of bags. All you have to do is put your stuff up on the belt, and if you have like phones or keys or stuff like that in your pocket, you gotta take them out, but they don't really investigate you that much, so it's just like any metals out of your pockets. But besides that, no shoes, like I said, no jackets, no hats off, like you can just go right through. So I put my stuff up on the belt, and they look at me and they go, sorry ma'am, you gotta take your laptop out of your bag. Me knowing very well that my bag is stuffed to the absolute brim, not being able to take anything out. I had like 3 jackets in it, plus all of my actual backpack stuff. I could not get that zipper open. Like, I had the little front zipper that I put my phone in, I had my headphones, I had my charger, my chapstick, and that was like all the stuff I had. Food was in my plastic bag, so I literally did not open that bag the entire time. And when they looked at me and they said this, me knowing very well that that laptop was not coming out of my bag easily, I bursted into tears. I literally looked at them and I was like, what? And I started sobbing, because normally like laptops don't have to come out of bags for security, and me already being in such a goddamn rush, like panicking, I literally started crying to security. Like, security people were here like, is this girl okay? And I was like so distraught, and they're like, it's fine, we'll help you. So I'm like taking it out of my bag, and like, just go through the thing, we'll take it out. So they took it out of my bag, brought my bag through, put the stuff back in my bag. My zipper couldn't close, obviously. I had my lamby, my little stuffed animal, could not fit in my bag, so I was holding on to that for dear life. I'll show you Lamby, hold on. This is Lamby, and she was in the top of my backpack, and after I like took my laptop out, she would not fit back in. So I was holding her like this, like going through like security, trying to stuff stuff back in my bag. Me being a 20-year-old girl, like holding my little stuffed animal, because I was so just like, and so I'm still crying. I go through it. They like help me put my stuff back together, and then they're like, don't worry, we'll help you, don't worry. So they call like Patricia or whatever her name was, and she comes over in her little golf cart, because now they're gonna drive me to my gate, because I'm like, I have 5 minutes to get to my flight. It's about to leave. I haven't been home for 6 months. I just want to go home. And so they get the lady over in the golf cart, and as she's running over and like trying to grab my suitcase and my, I don't even know, I'm a plastic bag in my backpack and my stuffed animal, and I'm trying to walk over to it, I hear, this is a final boarding call for flight whatever to Vancouver. I'm like, oh my god, that's for me. And like, now paging passenger Jessica Folt, this is a final boarding call for passenger Jessica. And I literally was like, oh my god, that's me. And they're like, don't worry, we'll get you there. I'm literally shaking thinking about this. Like, oh, I'm like so worked up about this. I have PTSD from this, I kid you not. I've been to Toronto since then, and I walked to the airport and I was getting flashbacks, and oh my god, it was stressful. Oh god. So we were on this golf cart. I'm like shoving everything back in my bag properly. I got Lamby back in my bag because I was holding her just like this, like, oh my god. So I got her back in my bag, zipped it up, put it on my back, grabbed my passport and everything out. So I was all ready to go. I could jump off that golf cart and run into the gate. As we're going, they keep paging me, and this lady is driving like a freaking maniac to get me there. Normally the golf carts go decently slow. They have their little lights. Maybe they'll do a beep here and there if people aren't really paying attention. They drive on the path, because if you guys have been to airports, you probably realize that like the gate's over here, the seating area's here, which is all carpeted, because like people sit on the floor and sleep and stuff. And then the aisle part, people like roll their suitcases on and stuff. Like the main part of like the airport, which people walk on, is all like tile. Like it's all just like regular floor, so you can like roll bags on it. The other part's carpet. Normally the golf carts just drive on the tile, because like why would they drive on the carpet? There's like things that like, it's people and sleeping and bags and chairs, like gets in the way. So it was she was driving everywhere, and when I say everywhere, I wish I had videos of this, but my phone was in my bag somewhere. I was so distressed, I was just running. She was driving on the carpet, she was driving like right around people were sleeping, she was honking their horns, she was just trying to get everywhere. She got me to that gate. As they're paging me, I'm sitting behind her crying, and she's like, don't worry sweetheart, we'll get you there, we're gonna get you there. Sweetest lady ever. I wish I could remember her name. I wish I could go back and thank her. She was such a sweetheart, but she was like yelling at people. People were like walking in, she's like, excuse me, this girl's late for her flight. We gotta get her home. I was just like, oh my god. Literally so like embarrassed. My face was red. Well, first off, I'd done my makeup that morning, but like I said, I'd been crying, so I cried it all off. Also, the rain had washed it all off, so I looked like a freaking disaster. There was like mascara under my eyes, and just everything was a disaster. I looked like I had just been broken up with and been cheated on for like a 12-year relationship. Like, I looked so distraught. So finally I get to the gate. They're still paging me. They're like, 2 minutes, final boarding call, all this stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I literally barely made it. But it couldn't just end easily. This lady was so sweet. She like grabbed my bag for me and she's like, don't worry, get your passport out, get your stuff out, brought it over to the gate, made sure I was okay. But I walk up to the gate, give my passport. I'm like, this is me, like, here's my boarding pass. And they're like, oh, we already have you registered on the plane. What do you mean? They said, yeah, no, you're already on the plane. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not on this plane yet. Like, I'm not on this plane. So I don't know if it was a mix up that like they cleared it or something because, you know, final boarding call and stuff, or what happened, but I was already on the plane, so like, hold on, we'll have to physically walk down and check to make sure somebody isn't in your seat. So they walk down to check. I'm sitting there. The gate now says it's closed, all this stuff. Like, nobody else is going on the plane unless it's me, who apparently is already on the plane. So they walk down, they physically check, make sure I'm not on the plane, and they come back like, oh yeah, that's weird. So they try and scan my boarding pass. Obviously it didn't work because apparently I'm already on this plane. And so finally, they clear it all off, get me on this plane. I walk down. I'm literally still crying. I walk into this plane as this last person. They shut the door behind me. Like, they were waiting to like shut the door. Like, I walk in and they go and shut it directly behind me. Like, I was so close. Like, if I did not start crying at security and did not have a full-on mental breakdown, I wouldn't have made the flight. I would not have made it. I'd never been to that airport before. I didn't know where my gate was, nothing. Like, I would not have made it. I made it. I was in the window seat, so I had to make the two ladies who were sitting on the window or in the middle and the aisle seat move. So I got my suitcase up way down on the other side because all the things were full. My bags obviously don't fit under the seat because I have too many bags. So I stuffed my backpack underneath. I put my bag down. I'm sitting in the window. I got my headphones out because I threw them in my pocket when I was on the golf cart. And I put my headphones in and I look at the window and I just start sobbing. I just remember looking out the window like, oh my god, I made it. So finally I land. I don't land till the 21st of December. It was like 1 in the morning, super, super late. I felt bad because like my parents had to like work the next, or no, my dad had to work the next day, I think, or something. And like Natasha, she wasn't expecting to be up that late. Like, she was supposed to come to the airport and meet me. She still did, but still, it was so stressful. And finally I landed. I got to baggage claim. I gave my parents my stuff, waited for my bags, and then I finally went through, went out and saw them. But I was just so like, like, I didn't even know what to do. I was just so overwhelmed and so worked up from the whole experience. It was literally the worst experience I've ever had. And somebody who's flown a lot, and I've been on a lot of trips growing up, I've never ever had an experience like that in my entire life. And I've been, like I said, to quite a few places and stuff. Fortunately, I've never had to deal with this, but I've had delays before, nothing like that. And this was the first time I've ever flown by myself. Because even going to California and going to Florida when I first started my program, going to California, I was with my friend Summer at the time. Oh, there's my dog. Hello, Lucky. So I was with her, no problems at all. The only thing I had to do was go through security by myself because I went through Nexus because I thought mine would take longer with my visa, but I was literally through in 2 seconds. They asked me what I wanted, what I was doing. I gave them the wrong document and then they were trying to find stuff, and then I gave them something else. So like, oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, you're good to go, bye. So it literally took like 2 minutes, not even. And then I flew from California to Florida, but I had met friends at UCR, so I flew with my 2 friends from the UK, Jade and Joss, and so I was sitting next to them. I upgraded my seat so I could sit next to them. We were all on the same flight, just like already, just by chance, so I upgraded my seat to be in like the Econo Plus or whatever seat so I could sit next to them. So I did that, so then I was with them, and we all went through security together and everything, which was perfectly fine. So this is the only flight I've been by myself. This is literally the only flight, because the other flight was with JC and our other friend Kate. So this was the only one, and it was a disaster. So that was super fun, and I hope I never have to deal with that again. But I mean, here's me and Cass booking trips, even though, you know, we're still in quarantine in January. Hopefully vaccines get out soon. I hopefully will get one over the next month and a half or so, fingers crossed. Hopefully that'll happen, and then I can actually go on these trips I have planned. But hopefully in October, manifesting it, I want to go to Australia. We're going to Australia and visit some of Cass's friends and spend 3 weeks there. We're also going to go to Hong Kong and go to Hong Kong Disneyland, which I am super, super stoked about. But anyways, that is it for this video. It was way longer than I wanted it to be, but I have issues telling stories because I get sidetracked. So I thought I was on plan, but I don't know if I was. Hopefully I was. I gotta go text my mom back because she's asking me questions about if I want to go on a drive tonight to go get, I don't even know. I don't know what they're doing. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like these kind of story times where I'm just kind of reminiscing on things that happened in the past, let me know. I also have a story time about being stranded in California, which I did tell in 2019, last summer in like July or something, but I was very, very upset and like angry about the situation, so I didn't really think about a lot of things, and there's also more stuff that has come out since then. So if you want to hear the story about that revised, kind of emotions aside, I will try and tell that story. That one also has some fun little footage. This one I don't think will have as much because, like I said, I was running around a lot, and I don't vlog when I'm running around a lot because it's not practical. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. It definitely means a lot. And if you haven't already, you can hit that little subscribe button and a little post notification bell. It'll be flying across the screen. I think it's on this side. Maybe it's on that side. I think it's on this side though. Anyways, if you want to do that, I would mean a lot. I also have my Twitter and Instagram and TikTok linked down below, so you can always check those out. I post on TikTok every single day, so definitely go check that out. I am a little bit obsessed with that app. But with that being said, I'm gonna sign off and text my mom back because my mom is trying to talk to me and I'm not replying. Thank you guys for watching. I see you all. I don't know if this is posted on a Tuesday or a Friday because, like I said, I'm pre-filming. But I'll see you either Tuesday or Friday with another new video. Goodbye.